Hi, it's me, Rachel Ann, and today's Financial Friday, I'm going to go over my 2018 yearly budget tracking something. I don't know what to call this. Okay, so Money Mom from Sensible Living with Money Mom, she kind of talked about how going into 2019, she would be tracking all of her expenses and things like that for the year and tracking by month. I thought this was a wonderful idea, and I wondered why I hadn't been doing it all along. And so I actually decided to go back over 2018, look at all of my budgets, because honestly, this is the first year I have ever done a budget where I actually have it saved. I did a budget probably for about 2 years before 2018, and the way that I did the budget, I didn't have anything saved. I just kind of like moved things over in the columns and just deleted what I had. And so I have no record of years past. So 2018 was a great learning experience for, I started a new type of budget, and I can actually go back and look at all of my budgets from the year. So what I did is I kind of organized this information into a yearly spreadsheet, and that's what I'm going to show you here. So what I did is I organized everything into non-negotiables. That's church, savings, rent, debt, and sinking funds. Now, keep in mind that my savings was actually saving to pay off debt once I was out of loan rehabilitation. So these were kind of non-negotiables. The amounts might change, but I would definitely be putting some kind of money towards all of these things all year long. I had fixed expenses, HP Instant Ink, Verizon, and Netflix. The total amount that I paid on that never changed, and it was always the same, except Verizon did change and fluctuate, but I'll talk about that in just a moment. And then my variable expenses were gas, groceries, teaching, restaurants, and spending. I also have my income, and I decided to add down here a section for notes. So first of all, January of 2018, the totals are not accurate due to a new way of doing the budget, and you'll actually see here comparing my final total and income all the way across, the totals are not accurate. I had no idea what I was doing, and most of the year, I didn't know. I had no idea what I was doing. Like, this has really been eye-opening for me. Okay, so taking a look at January, I gave $360 to my church, and this was before I even thought that I was in debt. I mean, like, I know, how do you forget that you have over $100,000 in student loan debt? But I did, and so I was giving more to my church, but I cut way back when I faced my debt. I didn't put anything towards savings because I already had savings ready to go, and there might have been some money put towards savings at this point, but I really don't know. The way that I did my budget was completely different, and it was harder to track. My rent was $400, which my rent is technically $200, but I think I must have owed my dad some money. Then I paid $810 towards debt. I don't know why it was $810, but that's what my records say. So $810. And then my sinking funds, I put $94.05, and I think that was for car insurance. My Verizon bill used to be $94.82, and after a couple months, I got it changed. Here's where I got it changed, and I think it was kind of like from the month before, it was less, and so then after this, so after April, it's $53 and some change, and it is still $53 and some change. So I did lower that considerably and saved myself a lot of money. Netflix, it says $19.98, but I think that was, maybe I had another subscription service that I canceled that I forgot about. I have no idea why it was $19.98. But you'll see the rest of it is $10.99. And so I'm really just going to skip fixed expenses from here on out since I've already talked about them. So my variable expenses, gas, $33.59, that's not right. I know that's not right. $0 in groceries, I don't think that's right either. Teaching, $408.25, that probably sounds about right. So you can see there's a little bit of a discrepancy in there, but not much. In February, I started putting money towards my savings for paying off my student loans. I guess I owed my dad another $85. Maybe he paid for something for me. Actually, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to change this real quick, because really rent was $300 and then my debt was $385, because what I did was and I still do, I pay my undergraduate student loan as my debt payment, and it's about $200, which is what my rent is to live at home with my parents. And then my sinking funds, I put $265 towards them. And then skipping down to teaching, I cut that way back. I did a great job with that, actually. and then restaurants, and then spending $882, and I have no idea what that is. Oh, spending was high due to starting diet bets, and my brother made a purchase and made me pay, and paid me back. I remember that. I'm just going to go through the first 6 months of the year. So church is about even. I started paying $25 a week. Savings, $800, $1,500, $2,400 in May. That's because I worked Derby. $1,600. I worked a lot at Churchill Downs in May and June. And then rent stayed the same, debt is going to stay the same, and then my sinking funds kind of fluctuate depending on different things. And then gas is more in April, just because I was driving to Keeneland. And then groceries, I actually went down to 0 in the summer. I don't know how that happened. Teaching, $545. I was just like out of control with my spending budget on teaching. $91, and then restaurants, I don't even know how it got to be $120.56. Don't even ask. I have no idea. Like, I really don't know. I just looking at my budget, I just feel like it's like way out of whack, and just everything is just wrong. Spending $238 in spending? Like, what did I spend money on? Oh my goodness, in June? That's crazy. So comparing my income, it's still off by a couple $100 here and there, just because what happened is I wasn't putting in how much extra I was putting to my savings towards debt. So all of these numbers are just like estimated. So I don't know how much I really put towards debt. So it could have gone towards debt. It could have been extra money towards my sinking funds, which is very, very likely as well, because I didn't put how much I totally put towards my sinking funds. I did not keep a good record. But my budget changed completely. And I feel like I do have a good record, but it is definitely something to learn from. So now let's go over the rest of the year. So church stayed the same. Savings, it went in and out in here. July, I had a lot less going to savings because I bought my bed and went on a trip with my family. We went on the Bourbon Trail. Oh, there it is. Spending $964. I didn't put any extra towards debt because I had enough in the bank account that the student loan payments came out of, that I didn't add anything to it for these 2 months, and that is so that I could spend more in my teaching budget. And then my sinking funds, I was really trying to like pad them up as much as possible before the end of the year when my student loans came out of default. Verizon, this is 106 because what I did is I think my pay date changed or something like that, and it was more towards the earlier in the beginning of the month, I think it was. And so what I did is I paid for the month, and then I paid a month ahead. So now I'm actually a month ahead in my payments. So my gas was pretty cheap because I wasn't going anywhere in the month of July. October is a little bit higher because I was going to Keeneland, and then it comes back down, and you can see like we had Thanksgiving break and then Christmas break, and that really helped me save some gas money. Groceries, I feel like it's pretty steady. I don't know what happened in October, why it's 200 there, but I feel like it's pretty steady, somewhere between 100 to 150 typically. Teaching, this is where I went way over budget, $730 and then $623, and then it lowers back down. I have really reined that spending in, even though it took me all year. Restaurants, I guess I spent more here just because it was the summer. And then spending $964. I finally, reined my spending down a little bit, and I'm getting better at it. So with my notes here, and look at that discrepancy. Like, I don't even know where this money is. Like, actually, I spent more than I gained. So, like, some of the money might have been coming from sinking funds. Some of the money might have been just extra money that I already had. But here we are in September, finally getting close. The numbers are getting closer. And then finally in November, it looks like I finally figured out how to put everything in my budget and keep track of everything, because November and December are right on the money. And finally, I figured things out, and I'm so excited for 2019 to like do this again for the same month and keep track of it throughout the year, and like actually have those totals equal out and know exactly where all of my money is going. So let's look at these totals. For the year of 2018, I gave $1,645 to church. I saved $12,239.61, although some of that savings I think went to getting a new bed. The total does not necessarily mean that's what I actually put towards debt. My rent was technically $2,420, but that's actually what I paid towards my undergraduate student loans. And then debt is $5,719.40, which that's not completely accurate either, especially because savings and debt are kind of like the same thing. But there's no way I did not spend $17,000. There's no way I did. Plus another two. There's no way I put that much towards debt. Anyway, and then I put $4,383.98 in my sinking funds, but of course I did not end the year with that much in my sinking funds. I'm actually going to go over my sinking funds really quickly here in just a moment. I spent $190.68 on HP Instant Ink, and I'm excited about this upcoming year that total is going to be much less. Verizon, $743.68 for my phone. And then Netflix is $140.87. And that's one that I really don't think is that big of a deal that I've spent that much on Netflix. Gas, I spent $930.09. Groceries, $938.02. Teaching, oh my gosh. I was shocked when I saw this number. I knew that I spent a lot in July and August, but I did not know that it was over $3,000. $3,334.84. And I only get reimbursed $100. That's it. And my dad's my tax guy. He does taxes professionally. He has his own tax business. And so he also gently, or maybe not so gently, reminded me that you only get a $250 tax credit for teaching supplies. So yeah, I've really got to get that under control, because that's just insane. And the worst part is that this is not the most I've ever spent in a year, and I know it's not. And this is actually like typical spending of mine for teaching. Restaurants, $713.94, and then spending money, $3,130.39. And I spent more for my classroom than I did on myself, and I'm not shocked about that. So my income closely matches. I'm about $400 off. It's close. I also put in exactly what I spent out of my sinking funds each month, just because I was curious on how much I actually used for each category. Now, a lot of these categories I have actually deleted. I no longer have. I just use a miscellaneous category. But of course I had to like put everything in there that I had just to kind of like even it out, make sure I knew where it was. Now this is what I spent, not necessarily what went into my sinking funds, but it's what I spent from my sinking funds, just to keep track of it, just to, see, do I really need that much? This was for Progressive for my car insurance. This was probably, I was still paying monthly and paid a lot more money. In February, I paid in full for 6 months, and I saved probably about $80 or $90 for 6 months. I just lowered it to the bare minimums just to try to save as much money as possible. I know that could probably get me in a little bit of trouble because I have a higher deductible and things like that. And, if some damage happens to my car, I'm going to be responsible to fix it. But that is a risk that I am willing to take right now, especially because I do have an extra car repair and replacement fund just in case. I have an emergency fund. My parents have a spare car that I can use if I have to. So there's a lot of factors that go into that. I spent $118.54 out of my emergency fund, and I have no idea what that was for. $63 for my dues, and then $50 for my racing license. So at the most I would ever have to pay is $113 in 1 month. Probably was an oil change based on the price. Clothing, I bought new clothes for school that I probably really didn't need. Maybe I needed a few things, but not much. My car insurance came due. I had to get new tires, just two new tires, mind you. So that was very expensive. $77, that was actually for the tow truck because my car, with the $1,500 repair, my car quit as I was on the exit ramp of an expressway, and so the tow was $77. Medical was $114. That was an eye checkup, and then family time, that was going out to dinner with my parents when my mom got out of the hospital after she'd been in the hospital for 3 weeks. Miscellaneous was starting new diet bets. So in total, from my emergency fund, I really only used it once, and I really can't even remember what I used my emergency fund for. Progressive, I had $874.85. I spent $109.40 on gifts. That's not completely accurate. Some money was spent in cash, and then some money was spent from gift cards that I had. So I did spend more on gifts from the year, but like for a whole year, I spent like $100. That's pretty awesome. $239 for my dues in racing license. Lucy was $78. Why did I have a sinking fund that was $200 just sitting there doing nothing when I spent $78? I don't know. $255 out of miscellaneous. I didn't really have that category all last year. I created that in December to take over things like my dues and racing license and Lucy. I spent $2,400 on car repairs. I was shocked about that. $473 on clothing. I was shocked about that. Oh my gosh. And then $133 for medical, and then $18.89 for family time. So altogether, I spent from my sinking funds $4,721.68. I put in $4,383.98. I know that's not right, because I have leftover money in my sinking funds. So that might be where some of the extra money, where my income and my total spent was off. That might be where that money is in my sinking funds. I have no idea. So overall, I was actually very, very surprised at how poorly I kept track of my money this past year. I thought that I did a great job with keeping track of where all my money was, what it was doing, what I was spending money on, the income that I was getting. I thought I was doing a great job. I knew I had some failures. I knew that I had spent too much in certain categories. I knew that I overspent on teaching supplies before school started. I knew that I had spent too much on the Bourbon Trail. I knew about some of these things, but I didn't realize how poorly I was actually keeping track of things until I did this. So I am so glad that I actually decided to sit down, and it took a while to, transfer all the numbers from each individual monthly budget that I have, but I'm so glad that I did. Thank you again to Money Mom for kind of putting this in my brain that this is something that I need to do. This is something that I will keep track of throughout 2019 as the months go on, and make sure that those numbers match, make sure that I know exactly where every penny is going. Because if you don't know where every penny is going, then, how are you going to achieve your financial goals? I'd like to know if this is something you do. If you do a budget, do you also have a separate yearly budget that you look at differently, and you look at the main totals? Or do you just concentrate on your monthly budgets like I did last year? Leave me a comment down below and let me know how you actually track all of your spending. And I know I didn't do so great on it, but give me a like for actually taking the time to figure this out and know that, things are not always as great as it seems. And like this video for me trying to do better and be better in the next year. Don't forget to subscribe if you are not already. I make videos about getting out of my student loan debt and losing some weight along the way. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.